Well, while the weather's been absolutely gorgeous outside, instead of working on the cars and getting cars running, what I thought would be a better idea for me to do would be to get the shed sorted out and get the garage sorted out so I can have the shed that we're currently stood in as a workshop and the garage obviously for putting the cars in to do some work and some filming on the cars when the weather's a bit damp, as it's going to be. It's just typical, isn't it? I spent the last 2 to 3 weeks trying to sort out the shed, sort out the garage, whilst the weather's been gorgeous, thinking that spring has sprung, we're finally here, the weather's going to be amazing. And looking at the weather forecast earlier on, it looks as though it's going to rain every day this week, with the exception of Thursday or Friday, I think it is, one of the two, which is just typical. Hopefully the forecast is wrong and it's still going to be dry enough for us to get one or two of the things done. So I thought I'd put the video out and let you see how far I've gotten with the interior of the shed and the interior of the garage, because we're finally getting there. It's only a few steps away from being finished and being absolutely perfect enough for now. Now, there's still no lights in the shed or the garage. In fact, there's no electricity in the shed at all, and there's no lights in the garage in the minute, although the two sockets are working. However, it's going to be good enough to get a car in and start doing some work on the car, on the cars that I need to do. Let's have a look at the shed that I'm stood in at the minute. Let's see how far we're getting with that. Now, if you remember how it looked previously when it was cluttered and it was full of rubbish that all needed sorting out, I mean, the amount of trips I've done to the local tip, absolutely countless times I've been there. I think I must have done a full tank and a half of fuel in the Mondeo to get rid of all the rubbish and get it all taken down there. I'm on first name terms with most people at the tip now. I've been there that often. However, have a look at this. And from the doorway on the way in, you can see I've got shelf units now. Admittedly, yes, they're all cluttered and full of well, various bits and pieces at the minute all need sorting out. But the main thing is that actually in there, the shelves are up, the stuff on them, so it's looking good. I've got all this to find somewhere to put. I need to find somewhere to put those. Now I've got obviously my ramps there, some scrap steel. I do have a boot lid from a P6 Rover. Couple of spare tyres that I need to use for the front wheels on that's going on the Ranchero. I have altogether too many wheels. That pile there goes all the way down. If you can see, it goes all the way down to the ground back there. You can't actually see, but they are wheels all the way down there. There's, I think there's 7 wheels. There's 7 wheels in there. And then, of course, I've got more wheels kicking about all over the place. Personally, I don't think there's any such thing as too many wheels, because you need to have some spares. But it's a nightmare having this many kicking about. So a lot of them are going to come out of here, though, and go on the cars. There's a full set in here to go on the Ranchero. And there's a full set to go on the Ranchero. There'll be a spare to go into the Charger, and I think that'll leave me 2 spare rims just in case. So 5 to go on the Ranchero, and the Ranchero wheels can be soldered on. 1 to have a tyre put on it and go in the boot of the Charger. So the Charger's got a full set on it and a spare wheel, and that leaves us 2 rims, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's what I'm going to have left with. I do have a couple of individual rims kicking about, but you know, they're just wheels on the. You can't possibly have too many wheels. You never know when you're going to need them. And also the wheels themselves are on some shelves. There's a couple of drawers there. They need to go into that unit there, and there's 2 little bars you can see at the side there. So I need to get them in there. But the main thing is, look at the floor space. And sadly, yeah, I mean, you know, you just get sorted out and you think you're all getting there, and then your hydraulic puller starts leaking, so it's sitting there to soak the oil up at the minute, and seals are gone on that by the looks of it, but that doesn't really matter. But look at this space we've got in here. Absolutely fantastic. Now there's a couple of things in the garage that do need to come in here. There's an engine stand in there. I want to bring that in here, and my press I'm going to have to bring in here, because if I leave them in the garage, they're going to be in the way of any of the cars that I can get in there, and it'll be handy if I can have a press set up so I can use it as well as having a car in the garage if I need to have something off the car that I need to do a press in or press out without trying to work out how to do it while the car's in the garage and the press is in the way. So the press is going to come in here. I'll show you that in a minute. It's in the garage. We'll go and have a look at that. My sandblasting cabinet that is in the garage at the moment, I think pretty much that may well come in here, because I'd rather this place got dusty and grimy than in there with one of the cars whilst the car's in there. I don't want to get covered in sand. That would destroy any of the paintwork. So that needs doing as well. But at the moment, I'm really pleased with how far we're getting. I've also got some spare steel braces up there in the rafters, and there's a lot more that to come in from outside, try and get everything taken care of and get everything nice and tidy and looking good. In the meantime though, I'll go and show you what inside the garage looks like now that it's virtually empty and almost good enough or empty enough to get a car in. Now just to head into the garage, just in case you're interested in it, the garage itself is 22 foot long and I think it's about 18 foot wide. It is widest part, which is at the back, which is the bit that we're in now. So this bit is 18 foot wide and the garage itself is 22 foot long, which is ideal really because the longest car I've got that's going to come in here is 19 and 3/4 feet, and it's only 19 and 3/4 feet long because of the tow bar, which is coming off eventually, and that's the Charger. The widest car I've got though is the Ranchero, and that still fits in here because my first Ranchero that I had, which some of you that are watching may well remember that have known me long enough, my first Ranchero, my 73 Ranchero, that was in here originally when I first bought the house and I first got moved in. That did sit in here. Admittedly, none of my tools were in here then. It was just the car. But anyway, have a look at this. So this is what it looks like now. We're stood literally just inside the garage door, the main up and over door. The engine hoist, that needs to be folded up and put down in this corner over here beside me. The only reason that's down at the minute is because I used it to move that 9-inch Ford axle. Originally, it was about there on the floor, which meant it would be right in the way of bringing any kind of car in here at all. So put that together and I used that to lift that 9-inch axle. Believe me, if you're on your own and you're just of average strength and average fitness, you don't want to be trying to lift one of those on your own. It doesn't work. It could be painful. But the engine hoist, ideal for doing stuff like that. That trolley, that needs to go into the shed. The axle stands can be put to one side. Those two containers of antifreeze need to go in the shed. That there is a secret for a later video. You'll find out about that in the coming months, hopefully. Obviously, I've got my compressor and my workbench. I've got a shelf unit there that needs sorting out. And then over here, as I said, sandblasting cabinet, some wood to get rid of, a couple more toolboxes over there, and then a shelving unit and the door of the garage with me dismantled press. Purely dismantled that so I can carry it on my own into the shed, get that put back together. There's a engine stand behind the ladders, and then these wheels that are currently up for sale. I haven't advertised them yet because I haven't taken a photograph of them. They're in here at the moment, so I can take a photo of them when there's enough space to move around with the camera. In case you're wondering what they are, if you haven't seen them before, the Wolf Race 5-spoke wheels on a 4x108 stud pattern. They came off my Mondeo, 1995 Mark 1 Mondeo. So the 4x108, 17-inch wheels, 17-inch wheels rather. I've got no idea what the back space is. Haven't measured that, but I'll measure that before I put the advert up once I've taken the photos. But they came off the Mondeo, so they will go straight onto any Ford that's still on the old 4x108 kind pattern. So we're definitely getting there. There's going to be a lot more work to do in here, but for now, it's going to be good enough for us to get a car into, so I can actually start working on the cars before we lose the summer, because the summer and the spring, no sooner gets here than we're back into September and October, and it's gone again. And I want to have something on the road this year and make some progress with the cars. Now, none of the lights in here are still working at the minute. Still got the problem on the fuse box. The sockets are working, so there is power in here. That's fine. But there's going to be no lights in for quite a while, because I'll need to find out the right lights to put in here that I can use. And I think I'm probably going to have to update the fuse box as well, because it's a bit ancient and outdated, so that needs taken care of. The floor eventually will be painted, but for now it's covered in a layer of dust, and no matter how much I sweep up, it's just constantly creating clouds of dust. So maybe just get the vacuum on that and vacuum all of the dust up before the floor gets painted. I mean, there is some sawdust kicking about as well that needs to be taken care of. It wants a general good sweep out, but the space in here is amazing. As you can see, it's all nice and dry since I put the roof on. So yeah, it's all getting there. It's fantastic. So bits and pieces that need to be gotten rid of, obviously, but I didn't want to leave it too long before putting another video out, so I just thought I'd come in and show you where I'm getting up to. It's absolutely massive in here. It's brilliant. And of course, it's going to be so much easier being able to work in here when it's raining outside or when it's freezing cold. I do have a heater. Obviously discussed that in one of the Vlogmas videos, if you were brave enough to watch any of those. So that can come in here when it's really a bit chilly or a bit cold. But in the meantime, I don't think the weather's going to be that cold in here. lack of lighting, but obviously there's a big window just on the other side of the camera there, which is shining on my face at the moment, so that's going to give us enough light to be able to see what I'm doing for the stuff I need to do. So looking forward to moving in here. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, when I say moving in, moving a car in and actually being able to get some work done regardless of what time of day or night it is. And of course I am going to paint the walls as well. I'm not quite sure what to do with the window at the back of the garage. I think I'm going to leave that blanked up for now, or blocked off for now. Eventually I may knock that out and create a walkway through to the shed and sort of connect the two together, so I can have one long shed come garage kind of thing. I might do that eventually, certainly not doing that this year. Getting the roof on the garage and getting the tidied out and emptied out and getting the car in here was the main thing I wanted to do for the start of this season, which we're just into now as far as show season and race season is concerned. But eventually I think I will paint the walls, get the walls painted in here, get the lights up. It's going to make it so much more comfortable to work in here and to film in here as well, because obviously sometimes it's a bit difficult to film outside depending on what's going on in the street. Right, well, lots to do, got to get on with it. I'm going to try and make the most of the daylight that's left, and I want to get this video edited and get this out here, because I'm actually recording this on Sunday, April the 13th, in the hope that you're all going to be able to watch this tonight, Sunday, April the 13th. So I'll get on with moving wood out of here and getting that ready to go at the tip and be disposed of, and I'll go from there. If you enjoyed watching this video and seeing how far I've come with sorting the inside of the shed out and sorting the inside of the garage out, press the like button on the way out and consider subscribing to the channel for more stuff like this and all the other stuff that's coming up throughout the course of the summer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.